everyone. Welcome. Welcome, Cherise. Welcome, Nico. Daniel, welcome.
Hi, hello. Just a second. A little technical issue happening here for the live on Facebook as well. So it seems
Okay.
like up. No, you didn't have permission. Okay.
Yeah,
So
we just ask you to wait a
Mhm.
little,
Yeah.
maybe like
Okay.
1 minute. It's fine? Yeah?
Yes. 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 Hello. Hello.
Hello, hello, everyone.
Mm.
Thanks to be here. Um, so my name is Gwen. I'm gonna present this live today with Daniel, the founder of ZenCleanz. Everyone knows him. We're going to talk about a topic today that a lot of people knows about the Chinese medicine. It's like the most ancient medicine in the world. And no one knows about the three different levels of the Chinese medicine. And I know a lot of you are curious about that, to know more. I'm also very curious to know more about that. And so, yeah, welcome to everyone. Feel free to share some question in the chat, and to also you can write from where you are, since when you use ZenCleanz product, and yeah, we want to know more about you. Thank you to be here,
Mm.
Daniel.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Hi, everyone. Traditional Chinese medicine nowadays is known pretty much as you go to the pharmacist or to the acupuncturist and you get some needle done or a prescription of herbs. But actually, traditional Chinese medicine was a whole system to keep the population healthy before it became like a business, because that's how it is right now. It was very important for population in China in that situation, but in the past, pretty much every traditional healthcare system was about keeping the population healthy because we needed them. We needed everyone. We needed everyone, and we needed everyone healthy. Otherwise, they were becoming like a weight on the population, right? So that's what I want to talk about today. And why I want to talk about this today is just not because to create a topic, it's just really to shed the light on, give a comparison to the healthcare system we're in right now. Okay. So traditionally, the doctor wanted to have as least work as possible. Okay. Because he still had to grow his own potatoes, you know. He was someone who was caring, was like passionate about keeping people healthy, but he still had some functions for family functions, for example, personal needs too. So it was not about entering the office and being busy all day fixing people. It was the first level of medicine for the traditional doctor was to keep people healthy so they didn't need him. So his first function was education. The first function of the traditional medicine doctor was teaching people how to stay healthy, educate people. And in the Shannon traditional books, very old Chinese book, they were calling it very simply the upper medicine. The upper medicine was the lifestyle medicine, where the doctor, the expert, the one who had studied cosmology actually at that time, because the traditional Chinese medicine is about how can we align ourselves with the universe so we are supported. So we're not going against the current. So that's how we align, we balance. That was how can we stay balanced. So that was the upper medicine, and it was about education because it's the reality of health is like there's no one size fits all. There's no one size fits all. There's always personal adaptation. And that's why I say there's always five pillars of a lifestyle that we need to consider. And we talk about, of course, nutrition, of course. And nutrition is kind of the young, active, and there's detox. It goes together. Okay, you eat, creates toxins, and we learn to detox. Then there's exercise, which is the young part, the active part, and the art of relaxing, of resting, of stress management. And the fifth one is to know ourselves, is to reconnect with our nature and with nature itself, to align those two, because it's not one size fits all again. So we can have the discernment to be able how to dose all this. What is the proper exercise for me? What is the proper detox for me? What is the proper nutrition for me? What is the proper resting or stress management for me? And at the end is who is me, right? We need to know who I am to be able to have the discernment. Otherwise, if we don't have that part, we tend to follow someone, right? And this is not sovereignty, and this is a big trap. We can get caught like this if we don't know, and if we don't, we cannot hear what I call the crystals singing when something is right. We may be dragged by all kinds of pulls that are coming from, whatever we call it, marketing strategies or whatever, type of leadership. So, so that was the first task of the traditional Chinese medicine doctor, the upper medicine. And then if along this journey, this personal journey, there was something that was still getting out of balance, then that's where the clinical aspect was kicking in, the middle medicine. And that's the natural medicine. And the doctor, the traditional medicine doctor, well, what it was doing was to prescribe all the five pillars, but he had developed the art of diagnosis to be able to know what is the proper exercise, what is the proper, the right, what was missing in those five pillars that I could temporarily, either for a short term or mid-term length, supplement or give something, prescribe something, an exercise, an herb, a diet, everything linked about lifestyle or not, but the things were like more requiring an expert to choose and to be able to work with that. Either it was with needles or either with herbs and something, but it was not something that we should adopt forever. The mean was to be used until you're ready to be sent back to your lifestyle and handle your thing. And that was like just a temporary thing. And it could have a certain length. There's some, treatment you can be followed for 6 months by traditional Chinese medicine. A year can go to 2 years. There's no really time limit, but the goal was as soon as possible. I will do everything I can for as soon as possible. You don't need me anymore. Okay? So I can go back to my potatoes, right? So that's very important. And that's in our system nowadays. It's all the field of supplements. It's all the field of, okay, vitamin B, vitamin K, magnesium, calcium, and all these things that we take for granted and that we consume without really knowing, what we're doing. We're playing with the chemistry and we're sold these things. But actually, as I always say, the supplement, the food supplement, the extract, where we concentrate on one thing without really knowing what I need, it's tricky. It's not really recommended. And this food supplement and all this are the pills of the natural doctor, like the chemical pills are the tools of the allopathic doctor. Okay, so this is a very important aspect, that it was not about all the tools that the traditional doctor was using was meant to be temporary, not forever. And then if there was an acute situation, something that was life threatening, or to manage pain, to manage a situation. So there was like the hardcore medicine that could be used, and that could include some poisons. You know, there's a lot of medicine is actually poison, and it's not that there's something wrong essentially, but these are supposed to be used for emergency only and for a very short period of time. Okay. And these are about controlling pain, controlling infections, saving lives. Okay. So this always had a part in the whole traditional Chinese medicine system as well. But it was not about keeping people on these. Like, this is actually the business model nowadays, is like we use emergency medicine, and people are 90% of people who are on allopathic medicine are medicated for life. So that because there's never an intention in our system to look at the root cause, right? This is because this is actually, it's never been, if we would separate the people, the allopathic doctor should be there only temporary, just to like a class A nurse, okay, to save life, to really soothe the pain, and to send as soon as possible, or even working all along with the middle medicine, with the natural doctor. And that's what integrative medicine is trying to do nowadays. So there is this allopathic approach that is about killing viruses, killing the pain, killing something that needs to, or at the essence, it saves life, but in partnership with the one that feeds life, that nourishes life. Because fighting disease never made anyone healthier. We need to feed life in order to bring someone back. We need to live, because if we kill a bacteria, if we kill and we cut things, this is not something that is designed to bring you up. Is designed to save you temporarily. And if your health condition have made its way all the way down to that situation, obviously you need something, or something that didn't happen, to lift you up, to rise your vibration, or to we need to look at this at the same time, as we save your life and we keep you alive and out of pain, so you can work something out. Because if you're in pain totally, it's very difficult, because first, your mind will not help you to raise your vibration. You'll be fighting and worrying and all this. But you need, so we need to control that, but at the same time do something to feed life. We need to have something that will raise you up, that will raise your frequency, so you can, at some point, you see that the inflammation's going, the acute pain is going, that you're out into a safe zone, and that you can be taken care of with nature, the means of nature. Okay, because the goal is always to send you back to your lifestyle, so I can go take care of my potatoes, right? That was very, very important, because it was not a business at that time. It was not a business. It became a business in the over the last 100 years. Okay, over 100 something years. But before that, it was we need the people healthy, because if they're not healthy, they become a weight, and actually it hurts the economy, because the economy was very different than the economy that we have right now. So that was the big lines of the traditional Chinese medicine: the upper medicine, lifestyle medicine; middle medicine, natural medicine, supporting, giving, correcting, like the coach is there and telling you how to adapt and to adjust, and helping you with some natural prescription, part of the five pillars: exercise, resting, nutrition, detoxing, and knowing yourself to know what is the right of the, what is right in those four categories. And the lower medicine, about saving lives, about keeping you out of pain, but while addressing the root cause always.
I have some question,
Yes.
if I can now, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, because so now our society tend to be more in the lower level of the medicine, right? Everything tends to to put the people in this low level of medicine, like the stress. We are not pushed to exercise, to do some practice, breathing, qigong, yoga, all this stuff. Also the food, the diet. We don't have time. Most of people work a lot. They run every day. So yeah, everything is made to make people sick. So yeah, so you say it changed like around 100 years ago. It became a business, but it's also like the society. Like we want everything quickly, the food, the fast food, and everything. But people are not conscious that this lifestyle make us sick.
Mhm.
And so now it's like the people, the conscious people, or the people who tend to take care of themselves, to take care of their diet, to change their diet, to change their lifestyle, the way of thinking, the way of living. We are becoming kind of our own Chinese doctor, right?
Yeah, and that's why it's all over the place a little bit, because it's like we improvise ourselves because we feel that we need to, because nobody's taking care of it. But it's a little
Exactly.
bit all over the place. That's why we go on social media, and suddenly everyone turns into a doctor, and that's a pity. And that's why actually part of the mission of ZenCleanz is structuring. I'm not saying that it's mysterious or it's inaccessible. Okay, it's not at all actually. But we need a structure, because right now it's all over the place. There are some categories. There is a structure. There is an understanding of the whole that assures us that every aspect contributing to our health are considered and developed, and integrated in our life. But at the moment, it's all over the place. Some people will say, "Oh yeah, I don't need. I eat like this." Okay, and but exercise is not so much my thing, and oh, I eat like this, and actually, I'm very angry with everyone who do not eat like I do, and all this. It's kind of yeah, it's there's no leader. There's no leader, and this needs to be eventually reintegrated in some kind of an institution to be able to offer the guidance so people can learn. And this is where the main issue is nowadays. It's that, and this is why I say, it cannot be anything else but a conspiracy. Okay, because with everything that we know and the simplicity that it is to stay healthy, if why it's not shared, while the 12 years we spent at school, so a kid could come out at 18 years old, a master of their health. They would know how to take care of themselves. They will know who they are first. That's one thing. We come out of the high school, if we just go through the basic mandatory programs, we come out of high school around 17, 18 years old, and we know nothing about us. We never heard about this. We never even been asked one time, look and feel and just go, try to connect with yourself. That's kind of a mysterious thing. I heard that the first time I was in my 20s, and that changed my life. I never knew it was something like that. All about diet, a diet. You go in a school. I don't know how it is in every countries, but in Canada or the US, it's vending machine and cafeterias with it's really unhealthy food. The vending machine just offer Coca-Colas and little Franken cake. This is what is offered. So you come out again, you arrive at your adult age, and you know nothing about it. I
Yeah.
born in 1961. In Canada. That was the booming of fast food. I had a very
Mm.
good mother, but it was sold as convenience. Never in history we heard about something that you eat could poison you. So went for it. So I grew up on on Frankenfood. I grew up on I've seen them all, canned food and preservatives and
Yeah.
all this. So when I arrived at in my 20s, I was already feeling consequences of that. So, so that's one thing. It's like, how come we do that? We want to raise people and we actually poison them slowly. Okay, so and the
Yeah.
same thing, we sit kids that are full of energy for hours behind a desk to teach them something. That's another thing. So this is and stress management. What are we talking about? Let's go with Ritalin and medication to control the hyperactive kids as if it was sickness. All these things is somehow I would say by design it is implemented because the solutions are so simple. The solutions are so simple, and imagine for over 12 years, because we say that to to master one thing takes about 10,000 hours, right? We spend 12 years. We spend 12 years at school. That means like during those 12 years, you would arrive at at the age of maturity, and you would almost be a master already, you know? And then yeah, and you would have like probably have like almost done everything, anything to master your own life. You will know yourself. You will be able to feel yourself. You will need to know what you need to eat, to what the food effect has on you. You would have pay attention to all this. So you would arrive to that age and little master. But normally, no people arrive at that age. Let's say it's the age where your parents want you to leave. Okay, go marry, be healthy, be happy, and all this. Yeah, but you never told me how to do that. Okay, but most of the people, when it depends on the personality, that's where they wake up and they say, okay. I'm going to school and I'm going to study naturopathic medicine. I'm going to study whatever things, the new option. Like I will study massage. I will study, nutrition. All this. That's where it begins.
Yeah.
But some other people, they will not begin there because they chose to go into business, they chose to go into engineering, they chose to go, work. They need to work and pay their bills. And what will wake them up maybe 10, 20, 30 years later is pain, is sickness. And this is, these are the two main starting point for many people. In my case, it was like in the 20s, my skin was very bad. I had back pain, and it was not from an accident. And it led me to study Chinese medicine, and yeah, it saved my life. I could understand what were the root cause of the issues I was suffering from. So,
Mm.
hmm.
We can say now the world is the opposite how it worked before. You say that the role of the Chinese doctor was to keep the people healthy, to not get sick. And now it's the opposite. It's like we are sick and we need to just to go back in the upper level of medicine. We need to find our health back. And sadly, it happens when people get sick. So most of the time it's because most of us, we reach the point like we became sick. And we had to find the key. We have to find the answer. We have to educate ourselves to change our life and to find our health back.
Yeah,
So we can say like the world completely
upside
shift,
down.
but in the bad way, in a bad way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, yes. In fact, this initiative mostly comes from our own personal decision. It's not like, okay, you need to be healthy and I'll teach you and the society will pay for it, because we need you as a contributor and a healthy contributor eventually. But right now it's the contributor. You contribute with your sickness to make some corporations rich, because to have 90% of the people who are medicated to be medicated for life, this is not normal. This is not normal. If this level of medicine was working, the people would take the medicine and will not need the medicine at some point. But right now it's just a management of symptoms until and then behind the scenes, if the root cause is not addressed, the root cause is growing. If it's linked because of a lifestyle, and that, okay, this lifestyle give you heartburns or give you headaches or give you a pain, which is a signal. If you numb that part, so you say, oh, I'm fine now. I used to have heartburns. I used to have headache. I just take this and it works. The root cause behind the scenes is still growing. And then it comes out 5, 10, 15, 20 years later with another name and much more a bigger threat to our integrity and our lives. So it's kind of a business model somehow. I don't like to talk like this and sound like, a conspiracy theorist, but think about it. Is like with everything that we know, the principles being so simple and hiding it from the people, and worse than this is actually suggesting it. They will fight to debunk it. You try to cleanse your body, and the medical system fight to tell you that this is all BS. It's doesn't exist and it's useless. Or you say, what about my diet? well, like eat. It will not change anything. I followed my father 3 years during when he was like dealing with cancer, and I've heard every meetings he had, and all the answer, because we say in French, nul n'est prophète dans son pays. Nobody's a prophet in his own country, right? So I was like the doctor in the family, but with the life threatening like this, oh my God, I need to follow the doctor, so I was following him, and like respecting his choices, but every time there was something natural that was, they were saying, you know, this is not what will save his life, but he can give it a try. And so that was like, and I don't blame the doctors because this is part of their own personal education. I don't think, don't take me wrong. I'm not giving any bad intention to the workers, the health workers. This is not at all what I'm saying, but in their training, yeah, the one who are controlling the curriculum, they have no no teaching on this. It's coming, but it's a parallel thing that some doctors obviously are invested into lifestyle medicine because they know, as soon as you keep studying by yourself, you really get really rapidly into that. It's rapidly pointing at, my God, yeah, it's like if I get sick, what did I do to get sick? And the solution is, how can I walk back or change direction so I will walk towards health? Because we're fighting disease while keeping walking towards it. Yeah. So it's health is a path, is a consequence of a lifestyle, partly. There's different factors. There's the environment, and it's. I'm not saying, I don't want to oversimplify, but ultimately, if we would invest into lifestyle education around health, we would need as many hospital as we have right now, and we would probably not have new new illnesses, no chronic illnesses, no autoimmune. It's growing. It's not going down. And people say, yeah, but people um, in the past, the average life expectancy was much lower. Yeah, it was much lower because we were first there was a lot of kids dying within the first week of their lives. So that reduced an average very rapidly. So we were not like insisting and keeping, we did not have the tools to keep the babies alive. And have we considered the the average life expectancy in good health? Because did anything change if we did not have the medicine to keep us alive or for that long? Have we considered the 20 years of sickness before that? So these are all the things. I don't think it's true, these data. I would need to dive in, and I'm not so much into statistic. I'm just more on the ground guy. But I think that the condition of our health has worsened with the new healthcare system that has been gradually implemented over the last 130 years ago.
Yeah, it must change. I think the world really need to change, and
Yeah.
it will happen just by us, like individually, to taking the right choice and to just be sovereign, yeah, of our own health and lifestyle.
Mhm.
We come
Yeah.
from only from us. We can't expect from the other or from the doctor or from anyone else. So now we just have to take
Yes.
care of
Yeah.
ourselves, yeah,
And
and
it's
our
happening.
family. Yeah, and it's
Mhm.
happening, and also like to teach also for the people who have kids, to teach them to do the right choice and to explain the consequence also if they do this, like, because it's not like only to do a choice. It's also why I do this choice. It's very
Right.
important, and
Right. And we
it's
need,
coming from us.
mhm. I agree with
So
and this is actually is taking shape at the moment, by knowledge is power, and we're learning this, so that makes more and more people aware. There are things. When I started my career in 1987, there were many things that I could not really talk about with people without being considered a woo-woo, like even like the fact that I was fasting, that was like, oh my God, you want to die, or that. But now it's everywhere. As we talk about it, it's mainstream. So there's a rapid change happening. The thing is, like, right now, it's because it's so many in so many aspects is changing. All the aspect of healthy lifestyle are changing. It gets a little bit all over the place, and the next step will be to get this organized so people can think systematically, or we can teach our kids systematically how to look up to
yeah,
our
what
for our
mm,
health. Yeah.
what we didn't learn at school, we have to learn by ourselves for sure.
Mhm.
But
Yes.
yeah, luckily we have a lot of information now. More and more people are becoming more and more conscious. A lot of things happening also now in the medical. A lot of research with some private clinic to prove like the benefits of the fasting and all this stuff. So yeah, step by step, the world is changing.
Yes.
I just want to remind everyone that the chat is open. If you have some question for the Q&A, and also if you would like just that I unmute your mic, just send me a private message and I will let you to ask your question directly.
Mm.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, but this is, this is also part of the mission of ZenCleanz, like we're guiding people out of the maze of not even natural medicine, because how do we go? It's just like sometimes there's so much individual things are presented to us individually, they're
Mm,
presented from one supplement, and there's also this all marketing thing. It's from the market that it comes, and there's more and more magic pills that are offered, that we see all the time. It keeps popping. So these are not the one who will, even if they pretend, or they do sell natural thing, it's still a little bit misleading, because it's only shows one part of the reality. It doesn't give a picture of the whole. So now, because the people, if you cross their door, to enter their shop, they don't want you to go elsewhere, and they will not let you know. And so we need to have some neutral entities who will present you a grid, a structure, so you can see, oh, I need to consider this for my health. So,
yeah.
yeah.
I have some question, Daniel. So one of them, lack of iron absorption and endometriose. Um, so it's not a question. I think it's a comment. Yeah, I don't get the question. Anyway,
But I
so
let's address it, okay?
yeah,
It's like
yeah,
there's
okay.
there's
If it
words
resonates for you, yeah.
that can, yeah. I mean, there's endometriosis and the iron deficiency. Again, it's like we could fight the disease. First, endometriosis is very difficult to fight. We need to address it really at the root cause because, there is a dysregulation and there's obviously a lack of energy in the lower part of the body. Okay, so this is something that needs to be addressed, and cleansing, of course, but it's more than this. It's more than this. We say that there are masses that are growing into the empty area. And what I mean by empty is like empty of energy. There's no circulation, and because endometriosis is kind of a fiber. It's a spider web weaving through your lower organ. Okay, so and probably the energy is going up. Maybe there's some sleeping problem related to that. There's probably a lot of symptoms. It doesn't come along. It doesn't come along. This is really a very endometriosis. I don't know what's the percentage, but there's a lot of these imbalance between the lower part of the body issues and upper part of the body, because since youth, everything is encouraging us to live, like a jack in the box, like just thinking everything, not about feeling, not about being grounded. These are kind of new age concepts, but actually is like a tree that is not grounded is a dying tree next to the road, isn't it? Is like, so it's the same for a human being. Okay, so, and we talk about the second part. What was that?
So lack of iron
The lack
absorption.
of iron, but this,
Yeah.
yeah, again, the lack of iron is most likely because that, to lack of iron, like there's iron in many places. You eat vegetable, you eat meat, there's iron. It's probably not because of what you eat, but it's probably because of what you can absorb. So
Yeah.
if your lower abdomen and your intestines are clogged, well, and then it's very possible that you're not absorbing much of your nutrients from that, and you say, okay, the lack of iron, maybe that person just went to test, and then because they're feeling tired, and then they notice like anemia being diagnosed with a stamp, and you have anemia, but again, I would doubt that it's only that mineral that is missing. And,
Can I share?
huh?
Can I share something about that, Daniel? Because I think it's a important topic. So I saw a video of a naturopath. He was talking about that anemia, and he said that some people was, are you saying in English, autopsy, when they died, and they were full of iron, but the iron didn't reach the cells. So he did some trial with some clients for fasting. So they were like anemia in iron, and most of them after the fast they didn't get anemia anymore. So I wanted to try with some client of mine because some of them got the same issue, and we did a trial. And after 1 week, so they did a blood test before and after the fasting, and not one person, like many person, it happens the last years. And they all was the level of iron was just normal after the fasting. So it's exactly that. If the body is intoxicated, too
Yeah,
much
but
toxin.
very unlikely though that will work for everyone. If someone is very, I mean, the absorption level is linked to a clogging. It may take a bit more, a bit more than this to resolve. But
Of
but
course, of course,
definitely
yeah.
by cleansing, it's like we need to be careful if we're water fasting with deficiencies. This is this can be dangerous.
Of course, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's very important because this is how I started was water fasting. I was a big fan. I fasted 800 over 800 days in my life. I am a fan. It's very difficult. It's a hardship, definitely. It's not for everyone, but there was in the centers there was always someone coming and asking, specific questions, and these questions were to determine if you had some type of deficiencies happening, and if you would have some deficiency, they would give you something to balance, if someone was healthy and just like needed like a detox, normally there's no problem. But for the majority of people, they would do fine, but it's more tricky. It's not like you
Yeah,
do
yeah, for
that
sure.
and you have automatically a magic pill. I would not sign at the bottom of that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Daniel. I have one question. So for the Q&A from Melina, what are your thoughts on parasite? There is so much talk on parasite cleanse, yet some people, very few, believe they serve on purpose. Thank you for this Zoom.
Hmm.
And thank you for
Well,
your question, Melina.
yeah. Yeah, this is another thing that we have nowadays. There's a lot of offers that are about adding towards parasites. But you need one thing we need to understand about parasites is that parasite will land and stay and settle into a specific environment. So we could be like in a family eating the same thing, living in the same country and all this. Some will have parasites and some will not have parasites. Okay, why is that? It's because some have the internal terrain that will support and the parasites will thrive into that environment. Okay, so it's very important to when we address the parasites, and there's nothing wrong with the parasite cleanse, but a parasite cleanse will never get rid of parasites. They will control the overgrowth, the infection. They will control because it can get very threatening again. But if we don't change the terrain, if we don't change the environment in which they thrive, they will continue to sell because you kill some parasites, you don't kill all the larvae. There is, and so these are settled into the gunk that is covering the digestive system or the liver because you can have parasites everywhere. So by transforming, so you can manage your parasites level uh, as you go along, but work on the terrain. Just make sure that you restore the proper environment. So that means you cleanse and you also restore the proper pH, because there is a very great acidification of the system nowadays, which promotes all kinds of illnesses nowadays.
Yeah,
Mm,
thank you, Daniel.
mm,
I have it's not question, but it's very interesting comment on the chat from Tyrone. So he say 100% I run into dangerous issue trying to detox without replenishing my minerals. Ended up in the hospital on drips for a week.
mm.
And another one from him, and
That's
then
what I
clean.
was letting you. That's what I
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
telling you
Yeah,
before.
that's why I wanted to
Exactly.
rebound on
Uh-huh.
that. Yeah, for sure, it's
Yeah.
something to consider, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And he say, and thank you for that. He says, ZenCleanz liver cleanse literally saved my life.
Hmm.
I released hundreds of huge stones, more than the average person. My liver was the reason my guts got so bad. It's related, the liver and the guts. So I have a question for you, Daniel, from Fiona Jones.
But I would like to comment on Tyrone.
Yes, okay.
I think uh, uh, so. It's great that you add this, Tyrone, in this live because, in fact, this is by restoring the the liver and by clearing the digestive system, then you
It's a gut
improve
function.
the
The gut.
absorption. Yes, yeah, that's which is very important because we're not really what we eat, we're really what we absorb. This is different. We
Okay.
neglected so much this element of detox, um, because like again, in our modern life, we access so much food. It's never happened in human history like that, Like we suffer the illness of the empress at the moment, This is not normal population. Normally, why do you think you called the morning meal breakfast? Because maybe you didn't have dinner yesterday, or maybe you didn't have lunch yesterday as well. So you were breaking the fast, like there was like this constant natural intake and cleansing happening in the body, and exercise, because of the lifestyle, was demanding on this. And this, I'm not talking about people starving, having difficulty to survive. I'm just saying a normal human life on Earth, was implying all this normally, So there was a natural balance uh, created through that.
Yeah, thank you, Daniel. So I think the question of Fiona is related of what you said. So she says she have a specific issue, which is persistent weight that won't shift despite following a low carb, low inflammatory diet, and definitely no alcohol or gluten. She's 53, postmenopausal. Symptoms include constant bloating, no matter what she eats and what she doesn't eat. She have done a couple of cleanses and released mucoid plaque and gallstone. And she's wondering whether she needs to focus on those cleans more or if there is any other suggestion. She blop a lot even when on an empty stomach. First thing in the morning, can do a 3-day water fast without getting hungry, so must have major digestive issue. She feel lost and she would like to know what she can do next. Thank
Yeah.
you, Fiona, for your question and your vulnerability.
Mhm. Well, like the digestive system implies the liver. The liver plays and the pancreas, but the liver is particularly is responsible for the balance, the pH balance of the digestive tract. Okay. So, when you eat something, goes down the esophagus, go through the stomach, and the stomach is there to digest and break down the proteins. Well, meats, egg, nuts, beans, like everything that is protein rich. So and this requires very acidic fluids to break this down, pepsin, and all the sludge that comes out of the stomach is very acidic. Okay, we talk about pH 2, around pH 2. So, and then normally it goes through the duodenum. That's why we have this piece of pipe, the duodenum, which is a very, very tough fitting to receive this acidic sludge. And there is the dripping of the most alkaline fluid of the body, which is the bile. So with this one is about 12. So it neutralizes the acidic sludge from the liver, from the stomach, and neutralizes the acid there, and send a balance around pH 7, between 7 and 8, into the tract, which the pH promotes a very specific flora. Do you understand that? If you have an acidic soil in your garden, or you have an alkaline soil in the garden, you will not grow the same vegetables. So in your digestive system, the human digestive system is designed to be about 7.5 in the small intestine, where everything is broken down, completed, and absorbed through the villi into the bloodstream. If the pH change, the flora change. If the pH change, this is when you get Candida, SIBO, and also inflammatory issues, because it's acidic, it burns. So you will have like gastritis, enteritis, Crohn's disease, ulcers, all these kinds of symptoms effect coming from the acidification of the tract. So it's very important when we start to have those symptoms, we can also try to fight that, but that will not lead to any long-term improvement. What you're going to realize is say, oh, I cannot eat this, I cannot eat this, I cannot eat this. Most of the time, the only thing that people can eat when they have these kind of symptoms is meat. I hear that often nowadays. It's like I can only eat meat as soon as I eat whatever. I eat bread, or I eat any sugar. Even some people say I eat fruits, and I have like some bloating and discomfort coming, experiencing that because you're like a dog. You have the pH of the digestive tract of a meat eater. Okay, and that becomes, and I'm not saying that we must not eat meat, but I mean, what I'm saying is like we need to make sure that our bile flow is released. So if our liver gets clogged, which is a high percentage of our society, because the liver is the first filter in the bloodstream. So that means all the junk that penetrate our bloodstream, the liver is just like catching all this, and very rapidly it gets clogged, and it cannot allow its functions are affected, and also it allows unwanted particles in the bloodstream. So you may have allergies coming, you may have like autoimmune disease issues that starts to show up, but definitely digestive issues will be at the most obvious thing that you will suffer from. So there is no fight to do this, but except to clean your liver, to restore your bile flow. There's 30% of the population, that's one person out of three, that you walk by on the street has a fatty liver. Okay, so that means like it is a pandemic in our society nowadays, the fatty liver, so that means there's a lot of imbalances into the gut nowadays that is linked directly to the dysfunction of the liver. And to restore that, you need to flush it. And there's no quick. It's not like you tell me, oh, I've done 3 and it's still there. No, I'm talking about dozens. Okay, I'm talking about dozens. I wish I could say just a few will be fine. I wish that, but I would be lying to you. You've been okay, and I'm not like trying to make you feel guilty about it. Actually, I want to give you hope that there's a way back, but the way back is not necessarily like that. Okay, you need to flush, you need to cleanse, you need to constantly restore, clean that filter, which is the first filter, so you can again start releasing the bile flow and alkalize your digestive tract. And what's going to happen? The flora will change. You will grow something different, but something that is more appropriate for an omnivore, for someone who want to eat everything what is offered to a human being. Hmm. Does that make
Mm.
sense? Does that answer help you in any way? But it's definitely, most enzyme I mean, all enzymes that we have, it's 3-year fermented. So that means they are penetrating the bloodstream, right? So they will go through the liver and do some cleansing. But the flushing these are more intensive. I'm not saying that you cannot do that every day. Although, I tried 5 in a row and it felt great. I didn't want to do 6, but I was very, I felt it. But there's many people who can do, who did like week after week a flush, and at that speeded up the process. That definitely. But as soon as I tell you, it's like keep us posted. But as soon as you're gonna work on your liver and cleanse and restore the bile flow, you will see a change in the bloating.
Mm.
Definitely.
Thank you, Daniel.
Mhm.
Did you say that you did 5 forgive in a row?
Yeah, I tried that last
Oh.
year. I tried that. I took a holiday and I brought 5. Actually, I brought 7. My intention was to do for a whole week, but after 5, I stopped and I did them the following week.
After 5 days, you still got some stone?
It's not all about stone the liver, This is this is not overrated. uh, because they have to go out. But the stones are the congeal bile and cholesterol. You get these out quite quickly. The fat is much more, and all the chemicals, all the gunk that comes out of a liver flush is and then at some point poof more stones are coming. It's a complex organ, right? The liver is thick, it's heavy, and there's a lot of ducts. But normally the stones, don't think that it didn't work because you don't see a stone coming out of a liver flush. There's so many other things that are exciting. You can have parasites, you can have fat, you can have like like it looks like white sand. Sometimes these are chemicals and all kinds of things that can
Wow.
come out. So
Yeah.
very unlikely there's nothing happening.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you. Yeah. So before the next question, I have one more comment from Tyrone. He said, we live such in an incredibly toxic environment these days. It's basically a necessity to detox now constantly every year. You can't stop. And it's true.
agree. Need to
Yeah, agree.
integrate. It's not about like getting mad about it, especially with the enzyme, you just live with it. I don't think so much like the 5 liver flush. It was like more like an experiment, but normally I cleanse every day. I just drink enzymes and I do my things. It's not like in the past where I had to plan those cleansing and I was scheduling this when I could really retreat and all this. I still do that, but it's more about restoring my nervous system. It's not so much about the toxins anymore.
Mm.
Although it's good to stop and focus on what we're eating because we're
Yeah.
not yeah.
So next question from Monique. So what about cancer, bladder cancer? To take the bladder out, for example, is that a real human thought and procedure? Or it is related to a dark, I think it was matrix, what she wanted to say, I'm not sure. Related to a dark matrix thought, malformation, so I think it's malformation. A friend of her has this diagnosis, chemo, how long we keep on destroying ourselves. May I ask for your thoughts? He water fasted several times, once about 50 days, but now gets stuck into this one. Get sucked, sorry, into this one.
Yes. Well, again, it's in the lower part of the body, right?
At that point, yeah.
Yeah. So we say that that normally cancer grow into an acidic and under oxygenated area. Okay, so and you know I don't want to oversimplify and look like the guy who's got all the answers because there is different layers of in healing. Okay, so we talk. She mentioned about dark area. I don't know what she meant by that, but effectively it could be have some connection also with other layer, emotional or even mental layers of our being. So when we approach such a life-threatening illness, it's very important that we invest everything into our healing. There's no tomorrow. There's no tomorrow with that, you know. There's probably had many other signs that showed up in this person's life journey that have been ignored. And the body shouts louder, louder, louder every time. And this time, you know, it's got the name cancer. It's a very scary word with everything that we hear about it. But we need to go over that and penetrate fully the experience of healing. First, in fact, the diet needs to be considered, but also exercises. We need to bring oxygen and blood flow in that area and a high vibe energy because oftentimes there is uh, uh, like what is the vicious circle linked to that, which is fear. Okay. Fear
Mm.
and worries never contributed to healing anyone. Okay,
Yeah,
it's the opposite. It brings contraction. It brings so that means that it affects, it reduces the blood flow. That means the nutrition, the cleansing, and the oxygenation of those areas. Okay, so it's very counterproductive. So it's very important that the person, because the healing process is always the same, you know. You want to nourish, you want to feed life, you want to cleanse. It's always the same thing, but uh, uh, it's very different when it's got the name cancer. It's like, okay, now get full time on it. Now get full time on it. You know,
mm,
take a time off from work, get it, you know, all your responsibility. And your responsibility right now is to tune in and have a look at what, you know, and spread the energy, spread increase the vibration through oxygen, to nutrition, through the good vibes into the area. But there's no um yeah, it requires like a total investment. That's
okay.
what I would suggest. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Daniel. I have one more question from Sophie. Many people in the Moritz liver flush group with complex chronic condition are doing 30 to 100 liver flushes to see improvement. Do you use the same with ZenCleanz Flush?
Mm. It's faster. It's much faster
Yeah, because we
to
use
flush.
enzyme.
Well, there's active compounds that are digging, the liver flush is normally people prepare with apple juice for a week, and then they take Epsom salt to open the ducts and then a flush to push it. The ZenCleanz enzymes have active ingredients that are digging and they're going, and like the Pac-Mans are penetrating, which the Moritz and bless this guy and what he contributed to the flush. I've been using this. I didn't like it, but it has been effective in some experiments. But with the the forgive the ZenCleanz enzyme, what we created with this formula is something that is active. It's much more than just softening the stone, opening the ducts, and pushing things out. We have something that is actively committed to cleansing, to digging into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
There was
yeah,
a person that fabulous one of our ambassadors actually did like that because she was on the edge of dying, and she didn't know ZenCleanz, and she started she was very, very depressed, actually. She was suicidal even, and she started doing the Moritz cleanse. After reading the book, she got that information, and then for one day she didn't want to kill herself, so she started to do the cleanse every week for that day of not feeling suicidal. And then
mm,
I don't know how many weeks into it, she discovered ZenCleanz, and then she had 1 week without feeling suicidal. So she continued like this until now. She's such a beautiful person. Completely such a transformation. It took about 2 years. Took about two
wow.
years, but it's completely two different person. And
Mm,
this is the time that people should uh plan, or have. It is normal, and to heal something that is chronic and you want to really make a transformation, uh give yourself 2 years. It's like, and I don't mean that after 2 years you're going to have resolved everything, but you will have taken good habits, and you will have probably your head out of the water, feelings in a safe place where you can continue your journey and enjoy your life.
mm.
So
Thank you, Daniel.
yeah.
Yeah, Tyrone confirmed that he did global healing liver flush and he released some few stone, and ZenCleanz he released hundreds every time. And he said that ZenCleanz is much more efficient in his own experience than the other one.
Okay, great.
Mm, yeah, I want to interview that guy.
Yeah. Okay, thank
Uh,
you.
So another question, question from Marlina. Often the advice order is to heal, cleanse the colon, the EJ tract, and to have proper elimination before doing a liver flush. Is it okay to start with a liver flush before that is properly achieved?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that in the liver cleanse, there is already something that will make sure that your track is open. Okay, you're
Mm,
gonna need to come back to your to your intestinal tract sooner or later, but you can in fact continue and but not continue, but start with the liver cleanse. You can start actually from everywhere with the enzymes. You're always taking enzymes. Okay, so but understand the way you're getting intoxicated. You're getting intoxicated by O's. You here, or the holes on your skin. These are the three main point of entry that toxins penetrate your system. So, if you go deep, because after it enters there and then it crosses the barrier, and there's bacteria on. If you remove the bacteria over your skin, you get sick. You will get sick because this is a protection. This is your immune system. You have bacteria into your digestive system. This is this is the entry point. This is still outside. When you eat something and it's in your digestive system, keep in mind that you're not inside your body yet. You need to cross that layer of bacteria, and it's the same thing with the lungs. So after it crosses those barriers, it penetrates the bloodstream. After it crosses the bloodstream, okay, it goes through filters. The first filter is the liver, second is the lymphatic system, and the third, the deepest, is the kidney. Okay, so this is how we go deep. So if you have kidney issues, yes, start with the kidneys, but don't forget upstream. You need to go because you need to help the organ that is sick, but you need to take care of the upstream, your digestive system, your liver, your lymphatic and blood and lymphatic system, as well, because that's the upstream. If you cleansing the part of the river on your land, and you keep removing the papers, and your neighbor upstream keeps sending stuff in it, you'll never be over. You need to go see your neighbor and say, please, would you help me and keep this river clean? Okay, so you will go see upstream, otherwise you'll never finish. So it's the same thing. You can go deep and clean inside, but make sure that you take care of the upstream. Okay, and on this I will say thank you very much, and that's enough for today, and we'll have more coming in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much to everyone to participate, to ask your question. Thank you, Daniel, for all this amazing knowledge you share with us. It's priceless, priceless. Yeah, I would like to thank everyone. So we have more questions, but we can just say to everyone to come back the next time to the next live Q&A we're going to propose with Daniel, and to keep your question for the next time. We can't ask all the questions today. Thank you.
Yeah.
You have something to add, Daniel, or it's fine for you? Thank you to everyone also for the comments. And also I would like to, before to close, to just share also this comment from Tyrone, because it's so true what he shared. It takes decades to get where you are now. A couple of years isn't bad, lol.
Yeah.
About, it's like, okay, maybe it takes 2 years of detox, maybe 3, maybe 4. But the thing is, the reality is we can, I don't know, you say in English, inverser.
Detox
How
is a
you can,
lifestyle. Never
yeah,
ends.
it's a lifestyle. So,
Never ends.
but yeah, it taken decade to get there, for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you to everyone, and I see you soon. Detox and rise with ZenCleanz. Bye bye, everyone.
Bye.
Take care.